Hi YouTube, I hope you're doing good. I am doing okay. I could be better. I've talked to you before about my neighbor Anita and Jimmy Sparks. Their house burnt down last night, and I don't know if everybody's okay. And there were emergency vehicles all over, up and down. I don't know if they were going the wrong way or what. They were from a few little towns in our surrounding area. So I didn't sleep the greatest. And what I mean by a good neighbor, we leave each other alone. We're just like each other. When we see each other, we give each other a hug and God bless each other, and then go on our merry ways and leave each other alone. Some of our neighbors like to get together and party and barbecue and stuff. It's not like that, but um, they raise Highlander Scottish cattle, and their daughter does, and son-in-law and grandchildren, some of them live across the road, and so I'm hoping that everybody's okay. And it's was a two-story house. Doug came home. He said there was 40-foot flames. Well, I can believe that. I had my house burned down about 40 years ago. I had a lake home, and I was able to get myself and my little baby out before we died. It was almost 3 o'clock in the morning to like 57 or something like that. So for decades, I would wake up just like totally freaked at that time in the morning. It was like instinct. I'd wake. But this happened probably about towards evening last night, about 5, 6, 7. Doug come in and said, didn't you hear the sirens and see the smoke? No, I had the windows closed and I didn't hear any sirens, but at that point, there was only two cop cars there. There weren't any fire trucks or emergency vehicles. Those came later, and I saw like at least three separate emergency vehicles and two leaving with lights on. So I had wrote in one of my community pages if they knew anything that was going on there, and then I wrote a different one, and they didn't even post it for me to answer my question if anybody had any news about that fire because I was a concerned neighbor. And so my second group I'm a part of, I posted that just a while ago here, and maybe I'll get some answers or something. I thought about walking down there this morning to see if anybody needed any help, like watering their animals or cleaning up or something like that. But I didn't want to be intrusive and look like I was an onlooker spectator to um, their lifelong work. So it's like, yeah. And, the heat, Doug said he just got through, took him 7 years to build one of his cars. And they had a bike in their garage, and I mean all kinds of stuff, when yeah, anyway, so we're just hoping everybody's okay, you know. Probably no salvaging it. With mine, mouse had chewed a wire in my wall, and they came out and put the fire out, and there was part of my house still left, part of the kitchen and two bedrooms and a utility room and not part of another room. My living room was gone, and well, part of the house, the living room, and another part of a room, and I could have salvaged some of it, but it started back on fire, and that's when it burnt down to the ground. And at that point, I was already over at my neighbor's house. Just I stood there and watched it burn for a while, but yeah. I almost died in that too. So it's like, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I've been it was a hard night sleeping, just wondering if my friend's okay. I think they are, but I don't know. So hopefully I'll hear something soon. Another friend of ours stopped in, and he has had like a lifelong liver problems, born that way, and had a transplant. During his transplant, they gave him steroids after, and they gave him fentanyl. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Putting that poison in somebody as a medication when there's other things they could use, and they didn't even let him know when he found out. He's like, because he was like sick, really sick, even leading up to the surgery. Um, and they didn't inform him properly, what they were going to put in him. I didn't know that was something that they could actually use during an operation on somebody. That surprised me. So if any of my medical friends are watching this, make a video about that if you would, and maybe we'll see how widely spread this actually is, because the dangers of this whole situation with it, you know, is I can't believe they put that in him. Strange. So I wanted to bring it to people's attention. I'm going to share a link in my comments to Jason Brazier's van vlog. He used to do them a long time ago, and he's an author, and he's got YouTube about um, chronology and history and theology of religion and all kind. His knowledge is so vast. I mean, just listening to him talk and drive across some beautiful parts of Texas, go visit his Nam friend, and or he said vet friend. I don't know. Nam would be my era more, but anyway, to go visit his friend and back, and the knowledge that he packs in his videos on the way there and back is, it like I said, it's so vast. I could no way remember that or repeat it all. I mean, I know things in my mind from my studies in my life, and even pleasure reading, you learn a lot of stuff, and life itself. But just for him being locked up for 20 years, um, put him in a position, and luckily he spent that time learning, and God was never out of his heart. And that's the number one thing for me. If I'm gonna recommend somebody, I really like to examine their spirit and see who they are before I say, hey, listen to this person, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna share that link with, it was so good. It's hard to um like I said, really hard to describe. And if you're listening to him, that's good. That'll share his information out when you, and people that share, when I give you something that'll help somebody else or something we don't know, sharing these things is the best thing we can do. Tell people who else they can listen to. And I mean, the thing is though, um like with him, I mean, I imagine it's really hard for him to find somebody to talk to on his level. I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just telling you that's got to be wild, because I have been so alone like that, knowing all this crap, like I said. And like I was talking with my friend today, too, knowing about these things, like when you're a little kid, he said that must have been like scary or harder. Yeah, it was horrible. um I had nobody to talk to about it. when you're against the Masons and they're everywhere and they're affiliated and have their hands in everything, I had absolutely no one. I had to go to the poorer places in life just to find some type of peace. Not personally, I'm talking physically, you know. So I don't know if you've ever been there. Well, you would have to have opposed the Dark Cabal and actually be hiding before you could have been where I've been, and that's what I'm telling you. So yeah, and I started that a long time ago, and I'm still the same person, still trying to get people to realize that these things are witchcraft and different things that they do are real, that if they don't marry into that bloodline interconnectively, they'll sacrifice for that position. And these are things they actually do. There's people, no matter how small the affiliate, like if it's a restaurant owner that happens to be a Mason or grocery store, and they hire somebody to work within that and they're all in the same group or whatever, these are affiliates of the bigger pyramid. It's as simple as that, you know, everywhere in the world. And people have a hard time thinking, well, when you go out and you're in public and anywhere you go, any establishment, that's most likely who they are. Period. I mean, there's no getting away from it. They're affiliated in one manner or another to the construct of the Dark Cabal, or they wouldn't have made it. You don't make it if you don't suck up, you know? So, well, yeah, it's been kind of a heavy duty day, you know? Just wondering. Like I say, the best neighbor isn't the one who's going to want to come over and have a cup of coffee with you. The best neighbor is like my friend. My horse got out. Well, the neighbor horse came and got my horse, jumped over the fence, stallion, and broke away out from my horse. And they both were running over on my friend's property. But the owner of the other horse, she's like, we have to get those horses. And I'm thinking, my horse knows the way home, you know. But yeah, um, I think I am going to be interrupted. Maybe not. It won't matter. I'll just keep talking. Either way, um, Doug might have just got home, but yeah, I better get this uploading. I have a couple messages for him with that friend of his, so I might be back. I am going to put that link. I thank you all for joining me. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Thanks, everybody.